Code of Ethics for Electrical Engineers. Board of Electrical Engineering, pursuant to Section 9 of Republic Act Number 184, known as the Electrical Engineering Law, and Section 6 of PD 223, the Board hereby adopts the Code of Ethics for Electrical Engineers. So, what is ethics? Ethics is a set of moral principles or values to govern the conduct of an individual belonging to a group or profession on the basis of honesty, fairness, and justice. So, what are the ethics of an electrical engineer? An electrical engineer should observe a system of moral principle and values. Dapat hindi lang kinikilala ang mga values na ito at dapat i-apply as a set of dynamic standards to guide his conduct and way of life. It is his duty to practice his profession according to his code of ethics. The keystone of professional conduct is integrity. Article 1, Professional Life. Section 1 pertains that an electrical engineer should discharge his duties with loyalty sa mga clients at employers at maging fair and impartial at all times regardless of public interest and welfare. Section 2. An electrical engineer should always have honor, pride, and dignity of his profession at umiwas sa mga kaduda-dudang tao or enterprises. Ang isang electrical engineer ay dapat mag-strive to upgrade his skills at lawakan pa ang kaalaman sa electrical engineering industry para makapagbigay ng magandang serbisyo by interchanging information and experiences with other engineers and by unselfishly contributing to the mission of engineering societies, institutes, school and engineering and scientific media, and other public institutions. Section 4. An electrical engineer should only advertise his work or merit in a simple manner and avoid any practice that will discredit or do injury to the dignity and the honor of his profession. Section 5. An electrical engineer should always educate with right information about his profession and discourage spreading the untrue, unfair, and exaggerated statements regarding engineering. Section 6. Ang dapat i-prioritize ng isang electrical engineer ay ang kaligtasan at kalusugan ng mga empleyado at mga trabador, as well as of the general public, and for the protection of property that may be affected by his work. Section 7. An electrical engineer should express an opinion about his profession, whether publicly or privately, only when such opinion is called for. His opinion must be founded on, on enough knowledge and information of the relevant issues and facts based upon his honest convictions. Section 8. An electrical engineer should not issue statements, criticisms, opinions, arguments, or other views on matters except where public interest is affected. Article 2. Relation with client and employer. Section 1. Dapat sumusunod ang isang electrical engineer sa nakasundang kontrata at maging patas makatawiran sa pagbibigay ng propesyonal na serbisyo sa mga kliyente, empleyado at contractors. Section 2. An electrical engineer should have settled an agreement or contract to avoid conflict or interest before undertaking any engagement which calls for his professional service that will need the use of apparatus, other equipment or things in which he has financially interest in. Section 3. Dapat palaging alerto ang isang electrical engineer sa mga conditions that may be dangerous or threatening to life, health, or property on work for which he is responsible for. Section 4. Dapat i-present lahat ng possible na consequences or limitation of the work for which he will be responsible. Section 5. An electrical engineer should honestly advise his clients or employer to engage the service of other experts and specialists and should cooperate with them in the interest of his client or employer. Section 6. An electrical engineer should not accept compensations from more than one interested party for the same professional service pertaining to the same work without the consent of all affected parties. Section 7. Ang isang electrical engineer ay hindi dapat magbunyag ng mga kumpidensyal na bagay o impormasyon na dumating sa kanyang kaalaman tungkol sa mga gawain ng kanyang kliyente o employer na walang pahintulot. Section 8. An electrical engineer should not be financially interested in the bids of a contractor on competitive work for which he has been or accepts to be employed as an engineer, unless he has the consent of his client or employer. Section 9. An electrical engineer should disclose to his client and interests which he may have in a business that may affect his decisions regarding his work for which he is employed or which he may be called upon to perform. Article 3. Relations with fellow engineers. Section 1. Ang isang electrical engineer ay dapat magsikap sa lahat ng oras na protektahan ang profesyon, collectively and individual laban sa maling reputasyon, distribution, misunderstanding, or unfair criticism. Section 2. An electrical engineer should give rightful credit to work whom the credit is legally owned. Section 3. An electrical engineer should live up to the standard of professional practice for electrical engineering. Section 4. Ang isang electrical engineer ay hindi dapat direkta o hindi direktang makapinsala sa profesional na reputasyon, mga prospect o kasanayan ng kaniyang mga kapwa inhinyero. Whenever he finds an engineer violating the rules of unethical or unprofessional practices, he should not hesitate to bring the matter to the proper forum for disciplinary or for other appropriate action. Section 5. An electrical engineer should not compete with other engineer on the basis of compensation for particular work by means of underbidding after the results of uh, public bidding are announced. So lastly, Article 4, Parental Provisions. Section 1. Violation of any provisions of this code shall constitute unethical, unprofessional, and dishonorable conduct, and the violator shall be subjected to disciplinary action by the Board of Electrical Engineering.